Greetings, my fellow freedom lovers and sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning in to LL3 Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful swampy mangroves of South Florida. And today's date is Sunday, January 10th, 2021. Looks like the siege has continued. President Trump is still low-key. All the claims are happening and the rumor mills. But if the transition happens, or Biden and Harris get sworn in, they got stuff on the table. They want to make this one police state to the core. Sorry about that. I had to put my phone on airplane mode. My mistake. There's even bills on the floor that you could say they're considered Jim Crow 5.0 and beyond when it comes to firearm rights. All right. Of course, violate stuff like from the 2nd, 9th, 14th Amendments of the U.S. Constitution, and considered impairing contracts in possible ex post facto law under Article 1, Sections 9 and 10. Of the same document. And people believe in doing these licensing on firearms and all that good stuff. Well, I can tell you one thing. So, if they support licensing, they're against the right of privacy. And they contradict themselves on supporting Roe versus Wade if they believe the person has a right to choose to abort a fetus or not. And I'm not here to talk about the abortion issue. I'm just giving you a little rant. People can't comprehend. And this is one of the areas I always try to look at things a lot bigger. If you want to go out and say, oh yeah, that guy got banned, ha 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 ha. Fuck, screw his free speech. You know what? Don't complain if they shut down yours. Violate your free speech. I know I may repeat myself, so forgive me, folks. But one thing we know for sure, Broward County has a resolution. I think I talked about this in the past. They adopted on May 6, 2003, affirming the civil rights of all residents of Broward County. Even though it was mainly talking about the Second U.S. Patriot Act, which is the Domestic Security Enhancement Act of 2003, and the Florida Health Powers Act of 2002. But if you read this more thoroughly, it can be voided on a local and, of course, the state. Nullification. States' rights. 10th Amendment. So, don't panic, my friends. There's even rumors they're going to try to rip down the wall. So Joe Biden, I'm very controversial with the wall myself. But one of the areas I have to say, human trafficking is a big illegal immigration problem. That's one of the reasons why the wall got put up. Because of human trafficking. They try to shut that area down. So if Biden and Harris will support this and anyone else, you know what? They support human trafficking. I'm just wondering how many of them are criminals in that category or violators. It's an exciting time to be alive. Folks, when it comes to the liberty movement, you're going to hit your potholes and your disappointments. Because the president you want in there may have lost doesn't mean the movement's over. He don't want anyone laying low and crying. He's not some Lord and Savior. He's a human being, for goodness sakes. Even a man like myself, I criticize him a good amount of his actions as well. I'm not afraid to tell people he is probably one of the greatest scapegoats in presidential history. And I know sometimes head gaskets blow off, from the human beings out there that hate him so much. That's a shame because, you know why? Because a lot of them hate themselves. They're very distorted, distracting, very negative energy. When you have hatred, pure hatred in general, people are not going to respect that. They're going to avoid you like a plague. There's a lot of them out there. That's another cult, like I talked about in the past. So I'm going to be talking about a few things. I'm more on the spirituality aspect. Beautiful day in South Florida. In the 60s, I think it was, high 60s. I'm enjoying it. Hopefully everyone else in the rest of the world, hopefully you're warm or hitting the beach. Yeah, I've been watching even some of the videos that's going on. Good grief, even in Germany and England. Israel is doing their third lockdown, and people are ticked off about that too. Yeah. The political world's in turmoil, my friends. Doesn't matter where you're at and who you support. But I'm going to be talking a few things. This one here is pretty interesting. I just heard about it, so I had to look it up. This is a short statement from the ACLU. It came out yesterday. And, of course, the East Valley Post released it. ACLU releases statement condemning big tech censorship on Trump. Short and sweet. We understand the desire to permanently suspend him now, but it should consider everyone when companies like Facebook and Twitter wield the unchecked power to remove people from platforms that have become ingestible for the speech of billions, especially when political realities make those decisions easier. That's what Kate Rana, who was the ACLU Senior Legislative Counsel, in a statement. Of course, you got people making their statements here, you know. I like there's one person who says it on a tweet, which is good. It's like, the replies to this are further proof that our schools have utterly failed to teach basic reading comprehension. Yeah, civics as well. And that's what Ian has to say. The people who raided the Capitol made this argument. They were wrong to do so, as big tech for doing the same damn thing. Both are assaults on everything the country standards for. Of course, like I said, I gotta say this in respect. The ones who are the aggressors don't be surprised if they're agent provocateurs or infiltrators. Another socially designed event, which the mainstream news don't want you to know, including Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and Joe, not my president, Biden, and George W. Bush's caramel version, known as Kamala Harris. Yeah. Gotta look at that, folks. But it's very cool. I appreciate what she did. And, yeah, it's good. Like I said, sometimes the American Civil Liberties Union, we have our pros and cons, okay? There's things I have my disagreements with, but there are other times I will stand with them. Like in this one here. So I could thank Miss Marana for that statement. It's awesome. And everyone out there, doesn't matter if you are a member or not of this organization, we got to look at the bigger picture. What happens, they're more concerned now, technocracy is right at our faces, right in front of our eyes. And always got to look at the fine print. And here's another thing, too, because even Twitter and Facebook, they've been shadow banning people way before President Trump. Alex Jones, and even natural health sites on Facebook, natural health profiles, natural remedies and all that. They just shut them down. I did a show on that like 3-4 years ago. Yeah, look it up. Look at my episodes. You'll find it there. I have addressed that. And I'm like, my goodness. Now, the President of the United States, like him or not, folks, this is a ripple effect that can affect every single one of us. Rather they're your family, your neighbors, friends, or foes. Always let that sink in. Okay, so next one here. This one's pretty cool. It's from came out yesterday by Dylan Charles on consciousness. Looks like they had they posted this on the Activist Post, and originally came from Waking Times. No, they're good. I always enjoy Waking Times. Says here, new rules, 21 new rules for 2021. Mr. Charles had to say this. If you're still clutching the old normal, you're in the world of hurt in the months and years ahead. Let go it for now, or you're going to fall behind and likely end up stuck out there with the mob, fighting for something that was never yours to begin with. You absolutely must realize right now that the game has already changed and that the new rules are being written as we speak. If you cannot open up your focus enough to catch the cataclysmic changes happening within yourself, you're going to miss the greatest opportunity of your life and risk getting thrown under the bus. We're moving into the age of Aquarius, and this emerging paradigm demands total inner freedom, which stands in stark contrast to the ancient paradigm of external control. This war has been brewing for a long time already, but my oh my, it's ever heating up. Prepare yourself for a colossal, even biblical struggle between these two dynamics as the universe works to restore itself to balance under a new sign. You're not here to steer this thing to your liking. You're here to open up all the possibilities this ride has to offer. Time to be the change. And this really is the moment so many of us have been waiting for. The Matrix control system was never going to come to an end without revealing itself for what it really is. It is finally all out in the open for everyone to see now, and it's clear to those who choose to look that the hammer is coming down and the system is going for broke in its efforts to consume the entire human race. To those who learn to stay continually aligned with their inner truth will be able to avoid slipping into conformity, dependency, fear, groupthink, and herd stupidity. You're going to need the tools, temperament, tenacity, and spirit to navigate this. Or you're going to get fried by stress, overwhelmed by fear, and you'll end up stuck with the other sheeple in one of the pop media narratives, blindly carrying out someone else's agenda. Your energy will be entirely consumed by external events, stunting your spiritual and inner growth, and you'll be sentenced in toil, in frustration, in the remnants of a dying paradigm. Able to focus on conflict, strife, and struggle. It's real dumb, y'all. One of the things I'm noticing very clearly these days is how the nature of truth and the sources of truth is changing. Whereas once we could seek and find truth in our established collective history, media, and in the accounts of others, truth now is being revealed to us in relationships. All of that other stuff is proving to be completely compromised. And an isolation of the year has induced a purification in our relationships, so that now it's as though we're all operating in the house of mirrors. At the first, crisis revealed our truest colors to those closest to us. And now, in the reflections of our relationships, we can see more clearly than ever what we need to know and do in order to evolve and grow into this new inner freedom. If we ignore what we see, we'll get stuck in the old ways of being. So I ask, how did you do when the pandemic came down? Did you panic? Did you freeze? How far into your mind did the fear get? Did you let it work in its way into your heart? Did you lose or any part of your humanity? Or maybe your true colors are beautiful. Did you discover new depths of your compassion in all of this? Did you find solace in generosity and empathy? Did you turn to acts of service to reassure your soul? Did you open your heart wide open? Did you heart open up wide and bright and true? What did you learn about yourself? Pay careful attention to how you're showing up in your relationships these days, because there are two competing narratives playing out in our world right now. One of them happens on the media stage and features an expertly crafted orchestration of humanity's worst qualities. The other story happens is in your mind and in your heart and presents an extraordinary opportunity for personal evolution. Whichever one you focused is what you'll bring to others in your life. Oh, sorry. Getting ready to hiccups here. And will determine what feedback you receive from the end of the world. One moment, folks. Sorry about that. A wise friend recently told me that the love we experience in our lives is the clearest reflection of what we truly are as people. So what do you see in the relationships in your life? Are you experiencing love? Are you frustrated? Is there easiness or maybe emptiness? Is there joy? Sorry. Or is there joy or do you feel repressed or bottled up? Do you feel a sense of expansion or a sense of contraction? Can you feel into your relationships to sense which ones are giving you energy and which ones are taking your energy? What is going right in the good ones and the wrongs in the others? What do you need to change about yourself in order to have the kind of relationship with the world that brings you happiness, joy, peace, and freedom? I've been meditating deeply on all of this lately. Move very slowly into the void and waiting to see what naturally arises. Here are some things coming up for me lately. They feel like an emerging new rule set, like an updating program to run on as we collectively dive headlong into a tremendous and cataclysmic war between freedom and control, between fear and love. Enjoy people and keep the vibration high. 1. Above all else, be direct and be honest. Be the one that says what has for too long gone unsaid. 2. Love insanely. Let it out into the open. You don't have the time to hold back any longer. 3. Make yourself strong. Physically strong, emotionally strong, and spiritually strong. 4. Practice radical detachment and letting go. We need to create space for the new paradigm to emerge. 5. Learn to enjoy being patient and allowing things to unfold naturally without forcing anything. 6. Express yourself like you never have before. Be more real, be more raw, be more open, be more badass, be more you. 7. Let death be all the motivation you need to do anything you want to do. The clock is ticking faster than ever. 8. Don't be surprised when things work out far better than you could have imagined. 9. Give away as much freedom to others as you can stand. Give them more. Let them have their stupid, differing opinions or whatever, and just keep on loving them with everything you got. 10. Do not allow your mind to take the wheel. Steer with your heart. 11. Make personal evolution your prime directive and watch how quickly your life changes for the better. 12. Be the person in the room that laughs and smiles the most, showing others how to brush off the madness of the world. 13. Conserve your energy until it's time to move. Then do so with maximum potency. 14. Stay close to the things you can control and distance yourself from those which you cannot. 15. Teach everything you've learned so far. Participate fully in our growth of others. 16. Create relationships, fix relationships, find common ground, build bridges, and be there for others. 17. Learn to fiercely observe the world and the people around you. 18. Rewrite the rules as needed for maximum ease and minimum stress. 19. Let yourself cry, scream, or whatever is needed in order to make sure you are a conduit for negative emotions, not a reservoir. 20. Practice, practice, practice. Engage in your daily practice every single day. Cultivate your inner peace and strength through the continuity of your intentions. 21. Maintain the highest possible vibration you can and make a point of being infectious to others. Wow. Like I said, folks, stuff I know, but a lot more clarification. This is why don't get mad, don't get angry, be inspired. Never be like those who are trying to suppress us. They're all being exposed for who they are. It's all gonna backfire, one way or the other. And I don't wish these individuals ill, but they've cursed themselves in due time. This is why if you show holding grudges and pure hatred towards others, your soul will get gray, your soul and spirit be gray a lot quicker. Don't fall for that trap. I've been learning about this for a long time. There's people that know me, I've been pretty consistent. I'm still learning life. Take disappointments by stride. But it doesn't mean you just belly up, surrender, anything like that, because they'll win. It's what the spiritual warfare and the conscience of awareness has to be enhanced. Shed the light into the dark. It's like you put a light, a bunch of cockroaches, they spread real quickly. They hate the light. That's what we're dealing with worldwide. A bunch of cockroaches believing they know more than you and I. And they don't have a clue. They are out of touch. They're blasphemizing themselves. All this backstabbing, false friendships, propaganda, and fictitious alliances. When you folks learn about who's pulling the strings, then then you know half the battle. That's why in Communist China, they don't shut down anyone that patches Falun Gong. Because they're a threat. The state wants to believe they're the gods, they're the Lord, they're the saviors, and they own you. You want that here? You want this everywhere else? Hell no. Always focus on those visions and eternal vigilance. Put their feet to the fire. Even get inspired, like even on a political basis. Stick to your principles. If you gotta hit these city and county meetings, like I said, be the real deal. You don't get emotional, but be direct. If they don't like it, too bad. Well, I've done it. I know how it is. And the great thing about it, you don't have to even try. Just boom, let it out. And some of them like, huh? Trust me, folks. You got individuals out there that love dishing out but hate receiving. The history lesson, what happened at the raid, I call it. The Capitol riots and disturbance. It's not an insurrection. That's a total lie. Folks, you should just read stuff what the legal terms what insurrection is, okay? Look it up. But one of the some of the politicians, they freaked out. And you know what? A lot of them out there are the ones that are trying to make laws that they're smarter than their oath. So that's one of the repercussions. The message got sent. But now they believe they're going to be smart. And everybody, we're going to be secured. We're going to be safe. No, they won't. That's why I say, get inspired. Not hired. No hatred for them. You can condemn the sin, but not the sinner. You can forgive, but many of them have to pay the price through due process. That's worldwide, by the way. So I'm going to hit one more here. This is from, sorry about that. The Organic Prepper. Oh, shoot. One moment. Awesome. I thought I hit my fingers too many times. This is from The Organic Prepper, if I'm correct, it's by Daisy Luther, if I'm correct. Yeah, I'm just like winging it here, folks, so bear with me. Yeah, Daisy Luther. Yeah, she always has good work. I like her commentary here. Why OpSec has never been so important. OpSec has never been so important. Okay, so let's see what she has to say here. If you've been in prepper circles for long, you've probably heard the term OpSec. It is taken from military jargon and is short for Operation Security. In the preparedness and survival world, it generally means not letting other people know you are prepped, or if they know, they definitely don't know the specifics of what you have. Not only do we want to keep the level of preparedness private these days, keeping our opinions private might be likewise beneficial from a more security perspective. More that in a moment. Trigger warning. There is no way I can write this article without ticking somebody off. Some readers will feel that I'm siding with the right, and others will feel like I'm siding with the left. I'm not because I'm not a Democrat or Republican, nor I'm a conservative or liberal. I'm a critical thinker with diverse opinions that fall into all sorts of categories. Yet others will feel I didn't go far enough for that some fact or conspiracy that I didn't reveal. I am not an ice cream cone. I can't make everyone happy. Also, there may be some swearing. All right, there you go, Daisy. What is OpSec? Here's a definition for those who aren't familiar with the concept. It is a process that identifies critical information to determine if a friendly action can be observed by enemy intelligence, determines if information obtained by adversaries could be interpreted to be useful to them, and then executes the selected measures that eliminate or reduce adversary exploitation of friendly critical information. In a more general sense, OpSec is the process of protecting individual pieces of data that could be grouped together to give the bigger picture called aggregation. OpSec is the protection of critical information deemed mission essential from military commanders, senior leaders, management, or other decision-making bodies. The process results in the development of countermeasures, which include technical and non-technical measures such as the use of email encryption software and taking precautions against eavesdropping, paying close attention to a picture you have taken, such as items in the background, or taking openly or not taken openly on social media sites about information on the unit, activities, or organization's critical information list. And there's some more stuff here. The article explains the concept more thoroughly. You can look for that yourselves. There's a link on there. So, OpSec goes hand in hand with the gray man principle. Here's Cellcode's definition of being the gray man. It's a simple concept that comes to be very important when SHTF, and is often completely opposite to how a lot of preppers are planning to look or act. In the shortest definition, it is staying uninteresting or simply looking and acting like most people around you in a particular moment. It can be used in a lot with situations when STHF during a prolonged periods of time or during short-term events. As tension increases dramatically in the United States, many people will find it more important than ever practice these principles. Extraordinary things are happening. Over the past few years, the United States has become extremely polarized, so much that violence can break out simply because two people or groups of people support different presidential candidates. We're seeing othering on an extraordinary level as big tech and mainstream media throws gasoline on the raging dumpster fire that is our recent election. There's a purge of conservative voices that goes beyond anything I've personally seen, way beyond the purge of alternative media a couple of years ago. While Donald Trump is on his way out of the White House in just under 2 weeks, the fact remains that the two largest social media outlets in the world, Facebook and Twitter, have suspended the accounts of the sitting president of the United States. Now they're private businesses. They get to make their own rules, and they're protected from any legal fallout by Section 230, unlike the rest of the folks on the internet. However, the fact is they would like to take such action is simply outstanding in its audacity. It's funny, too, if you read their contract. I'm just wondering how many contracts he breached on people by suspending them. Go to a different outlet, you say? Well, that would be a great idea, so we did. Conservatives and libertarians went to Parler in droves, and the MSM sobbed into the lattice that there was a threat to democracy. And guess what else happened? Google effectively killed Parler today by removing the app from the store. Jose Castaneda, a Google spokesperson, said, in order to protect user safety on Google Play, our long-standing policies require the apps displaying user-generated content having moderation policies and enforcement that removes egregious content like posts that incite violence. All developers agree to these terms. We have reminded Parler of this clear policy in recent months. We're aware of continued posting the Parler app that seeks to incite ongoing violence in the U.S. Called witch hunting. That's what they are. They're cowards. Google sucks, by the way, right? We recognize that there can be reasonable debate about content policies, and that it can be difficult for apps to immediately remove all violative content. But for us to distribute an app through Google Play, we do require that apps implement robust moderation for egregious content. In light of this ongoing and urgent public safety threat, we're suspending the app's listings from the from the Play Store until addresses these issues. Apple has also given Parler an ultimatum to either moderate content or get nuked here too. And speaking of egregious things, the glaring double standard between media coverage in the Washington D.C. on January 6th and the coverage of the protests all over the country for the past year is particularly flagrant. This blatant silencing dissent is heinous and reminiscent of Communist China or North Korea. I mean, do GOJ just revive the legality of firing squads? While we're not currently being executed for dissenting opinions, people are losing their livelihoods, having their homes vandalized, and being ostracized. ABC News literally called for cleansing of Trump supporters. Even aside from impeachment, 25th Amendment talk, Trump will be an ex-president in 13 days. ABC's Rick Klein and Mary Alice Park wrote for the Note, on Thursday, the fact is getting rid of Trump in the easy part. Cleansing the movement he commands or getting rid of what he represents to so many Americans is going to be something else. It now reads, clean up the movement he commands of getting rid of what he represents to so America is doing something else. So there's a catch-22 there, right? Yeah, ain't no bitchin' corporation, right? Ain't no bitchin' corporation, exactly. So Karen also shared the original phrase on Twitter before deleting it. Klein, yep. Do they wish to cleanse all 74,223,744 people who vote were considered official? Is it rather reminiscent of a recent hullabaloo when another guy on Twitter wanted to send Trump voters to re-education camps? Here's a link for that. You can see it for yourselves. Incidentally, neither Klein's account nor ABC News' account were suspended by Twitter, nor was the guy who wants to forcibly re-educate people just the president. Oh, and the whole bunch of other people who had the audacity to be publicly supportive of him, but not those cleansers and re-education people. They're cool. Big tech puritanization. Liberty for me, but none for thee. Absolutely. Knowing what you're know what you're getting into before taking action. If you're anything like me, your initial is, F this, I'll say it what I want. Agree wholeheartedly. That is an outrageous censorship on a massive scale. It is virtual book burning. And the double standard is utter BS, and I'm furious about it. I am too, don't get me wrong. But this is first and foremost a website about survival and preparedness. This is not a site about staging a revolution, and I have really limited the courage of politics since 2016 election. I want it to be a place where everyone feels welcome to learn about preparedness and the events that affect us regardless of their political beliefs, their religious beliefs, or which foot they put on their pants leg first. There will be able out there who feel it is their duty to fight. There are people who support that and people who do not. Unless you're making a conscious decision to get out there in the thick of the battle, apparently your livelihood and risking ostracization due to cancel culture, which we all know is for Orwellian snowflakes, it may be time for you to consider strengthening your OpSec. If you are going into this with your eyes open, then more power to you all. Crackdowns like what we're seeing now start with polarization and information blackouts. They can lead to far worse scenarios, Soko wrote. It is a situation where all stakes are much higher and solutions, actions that the government, ruling party, military leaders, or whoever in your case wants to achieve will be attempted with all means. This can include some new rules what you think about what is usually does not mean anything. A lot of preppers think about martial law, but in reality, they think about still in normal terms with rights, law, and constitution and rules. You cannot defy military, at least not openly, because they will deal with you fast and efficiently. In times like that, it is so easy to get labeled that you are dangerous, an enemy of the state, a terrorist, or anything similar, and most probably you'll never have any help. Forget about the movie illusions of openly being a freedom fighter. No matter how well you're organized, you are those who impose martial law have a better organization than you. Remember that martial law usually means information blackout. They will own information presented to the public the way that they want to present it. While I'm not suggesting we're necessarily headed for martial law, we have stepped into a brand new world where our media is tightly controlled and our every decision, our utterness can come back to haunt us. What do we need to focus more stringently on OpSec now? I want to focus on the survival and preparedness aspects of this unbelievable situation we now find ourselves in. As I've written before, survival is about surviving. Some people find this philosophy cowardly and feel we should all be willing to choose the hill of their choice to die upon. Others believe that it is better to be strategic, live and fight another day and choose their battles. This is a personal decision. If you do not wish to be involved in the political aspects of the things going on right now, if you want to quietly live out your life, which limited conflict, and if you focus on the safety of your family, you don't need to think about the information you're giving away about yourself. This is not just information for the people of one political party or race. It's for those who don't want to be targeted because of their beliefs. Don't make visual statements. Do you have any political paraphernalia on display? Bumper stickers, yard signs, banners, t-shirts, or hats? Avoid political conversations. Back when I was a kid, I was told politics and religion were topics that were bad manners unless you're in the company of those you knew very well. Keep your preps under wrap. Trust me, the great toilet paper crisis of 2021 happens, and it will. You don't want to be the house with all the toilet paper that the guy repairing your furnace saw. Nobody needs to see your preps. Put things in the cardboard boxes with misleading labels like Christmas. If someone is going to be in the area where you store the supplies, don't have shelves and canned goods out in your kitchen. Tighten your circle. If you thought 2020 was bad. 2021 is here. It is old enough to drink. As expected, 2021 is not going to be a walk in the park. Selco recommends that the worse things become, the smaller your circle should be. Focus your efforts on things you can control, your energy on the people and your inner circle. Remember what you learned about people. We learned a lot about those around us handle stress during the first rounds of lockdowns. Don't forget the lessons you've learned about those in your circle, well as what you discovered about friends, neighbors, and coworkers. A lot of folks who were really surprised by the behaviors of others than when they were under stress. Think about what you really want to let in. This may have changed after the past year. Do your best to make sure that people are truly worthy of your trust. Be neutral on social media. Remember, the internet is forever. Even if you delete an ill-advised post, someone may have taken a screenshot or be able to find this post on the Wayback Machine. People don't have to have the visible proof of those posts either to remember you dislike Trump or Biden, or that you're super liberal or super conservative. Post memes after meme expressing your adoration for certain political figures or beliefs is a digital equivalent of running your mouth in a crowded bar. You never know who's watching or listening, nor do you know that might come back to haunt you. Well, I could admit that. But the fact is this, one thing I always tell people how I do it, never out of malice, okay? Don't make yourself a target. When people are hungry, they'll do things that might never have imagined doing before, like stealing food. Man, the jobs lost in 2020 are not going to be coming back in 2021. People are dealing with major financial problems, and we have supply chain issues. There's a very real chance we will see greater poverty in America happening to a greater number of people than we've seen in our lifetimes. Those people will be racking their brains trying to figure out how to survive. Don't give them a reason to think of your place as a supply nirvana. If you're that desperate in that desperate position, check out this book. It's free. It may help you make difficult decisions. When people are hungry, they'll do things they normally would not, and mob mentality is contagious. Just take this former CEO, for example. My decision to enter the Capitol was wrong, and I am deeply regretful to have done so, Ruxtail said in a statement. Without qualification and as a peaceful and law-abiding citizen, I condemned the violence and destruction that took place in Washington. Ruxtail also apologized to his family and colleagues and his fellow countrymen for his actions. It was the single worst personal decision I made in my life. The exec statement continued. I have no excuse for my actions, and I wish I could take them back. Don't make yourself a target for rage of people who aren't behaving rationally. Your memes and banners and bumper stickers aren't going to change their minds. What are your thoughts? Always choose your battles wisely, folks. And try when we have discussions, use it, explain it more on a universal basis. Of course, there's people out there are wigging out what happened this past 2020. And you got folks out there want to blame Donald Trump for everything, including the Charlottesville and the George Floyd riots, which he has nothing to do with. All right? People let fear get to them. That's what happens when you don't pay attention. They rather rely on some idiot box and tell them everything. Oh, yeah, they're experts. I hear that too. And I'm like looking at these folks. I'm like, are you effing insane? Now, there's people I knew in the business for like 20 years, for goodness sakes. Talk about Twilight Zone. Wow. It's like one person I see on Instagram took down an InfoWars, peeled off an InfoWars sticker. Now, my comment was, always observe responsibly. Here's the thing, folks. They're trying to have us divide us. Pick a side. You're with us or against us. Something like, you're with us or the terrorists. Vladimir Mirlin made that statement. Pol Pot used that for the children of Khmer Rouge. You want to be in that category? Suit yourself. But I gave you a warning. If you don't know history, if you don't know the past, we'll fail to repeat it. Well, doomed to repeat it, excuse me. Sometimes I just say something, I get scrambled for a moment. But bear with me. Always got to be vigilant. Always prep. That's important. Even a person like myself, nothing to brag about. I've been focusing on this for over 30 years now. See what's going down. Pay attention. I said watch a lot of documentaries and read certain unusual books. So what I'm seeing isn't surprising. This is why you have to have that spiritual inner peace. You go, hey, I'm not going to be controlled by you, government. Doesn't matter where they're at. Because remember, in Latin, it means control the mind. Try not to over-exploit yourselves, too. Say it with love. Even with these social media sites, these major ones, I don't get too personal. I just like to throw some stuff in there once in a while. I throw good stuff in there. Get people to think. Make sure they let them look at it and make their own judgment. And I got folks that don't want to see it, but others will give me a good discussion whether they agree with me or not. And that's cool. I still love them. That's because the whole thing is, most of us, we do care. We have things that we do in different ways. And that's essential. Because there's people out there don't give a damn about any of us on this planet. Those are the ones they got to focus on. That's why I say this. The New World Order is going to fail. This order is done. True peace, security, and spiritual prosperity shall prevail, including communist China and any other nation that have tyrannical elements, including the United States as well. So be vigilant, folks, and keep it real. That will be it. I thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share us throughout your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or something that's interesting you want to check out, whatever you do, please send your correspondence with Decorum. Furthermore, I'll leave the footnotes of these articles on my Spreaker page. If you want to contact me, you can hit me at LokiLuck3@gmail.com or LokiLuckNumbers03 at protonmail.com. If you hit me with some donations, right now I'm on PayPal, paypal.me, and cash.app/LokiLuck3. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that the demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading love. And may your guardian spirits be with you.